Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of a Score Sheet. When the Al and the Zamalek are just making us enjoying every single minute in their derby, there is no voice louder than the derby's voice. We are going to dedicate this episode to what happened just 2 days ago. But before going into the details, and as we promised our viewers that we are going to follow up the success of all Egyptian sports persons in all games, in all sports. And our camera had this exclusive interview with Mohammed Shaban, one of the Egyptian figures of Taekwondo. Shaban was chosen once again as a member of the World Taekwondo Executive Council. Let's have more details and then we are going to return back to dive into Cairo Derby.
It's a long story. It started back in 1992, if I remember correctly. I started here in the Zuhur Club. I saw one of my colleagues that was competing in one competition, and I really liked the whole environment about the atmosphere of the crowd, the winning, the losing, all of this. So I said, okay, I love this atmosphere, so let me try that sport. Ahead of this, I tried a couple of sports, but I didn't engage that much. I was just doing it, but I didn't have the passion for it. So I started in 92 here in the club. A couple of years later, actually around 94, I won my first national championship. Then from there, I started training even harder, joined the national team, stayed there for around 10 years. And by 2004, like after Athens Olympic Games, I kind of said, okay, that's it for the sports. And I followed my international career. Later on in 2011, I came back home. General Fooley, may he rest in peace, insisted that I join him for my administrative career as an official. And I started my elections in Egyptian Taekwondo Federation. I won. I started there and I took a specific part of the board work, which is being the responsible for the first team or the national team, the senior, that's aiming for the Olympic Games in Rio. So we started that journey. It was very successful, not only because of me, of course, because of the board members, my colleagues, the coaches, and also the athletes, of course. They are the one who brought the success to us. Later in Rio Olympic Games, we won the bronze medal with Hidayah, and 2017, I finished my career with Egypt on the board, and we had like around 200 medals in total during those 4 or 5 years, which was a great success. Then I joined, I was the technical chairman for Africa, and the vice chairman for World Taekwondo Federation in 2015. Later on, 2 years later, President Shou has appointed me as the games chairman for the World Taekwondo. And this for me was a great responsibility. And I remember I quoted at this time, it's a lot of honor, but a lot of responsibility, because I was at that time in my late 30s, also the first Arab or African to take a position like this. So I had to make sure that this is not a coincidence. I had to prove myself. So we made sure that we do a lot of work. We have improved a lot on the world stage when it comes to competitions, of course, with the help of all my colleagues. And later on, I went to Tokyo Olympic Games and also Buenos Aires Olympic Games. And last year, General Fooley passed away. And for me, that was a huge turn of events. When he was around, the idea of running for office was never on my mind. He was there, we're good, I just take care of the sports part. But when he passed away, I said, okay, probably it's time for me to try to take his path, to Egypt to stay on the world stage of office as much as the sports. And I ran and I was successful. I'm very lucky. Yeah, in Tokyo Olympic Games, it was a very specific Olympic Games because it was in Japan, the land of judo, the land of karate. So we wanted to make sure that when we do the competition of Taekwondo, it has to take a different image. It has to be perceived strongly. Otherwise, we are running into a bit of probably disadvantage with the Japanese sports. We made sure that the colors are picked successfully, because we have certain limitation, because you have to agree with TOGOK, which is Tokyo Olympic Games Organizing Committee. We made sure that we're using the latest technologies, the 4D replay cameras. We also have only one court like every Olympic Games, so we make sure that the cameras are positioned in a way to be able to get the right angles of the athlete. There was another issue there, which was there was no crowd. So in the semifinals and finals, where the athletes win, we worked with IOC and Togok to make sure that there is, I would say, a live Zoom connection with their parents, friends, and families back home if they win. So I think overall it was successful, no hiccups. We also introduced the mixed gender team, a sport as a show sport, demo sport. I do believe all of this together, I think it came out and perceived well by the crowd, and I was very happy about that. Well, it's not a surprise. Hidayah won in Rio, she won in Tokyo. Saif Isa won in Nanjing, he was young at the time in Youth Olympic Games, and he won again in Tokyo. It's a great effort from them. They worked so hard for it. I know them personally. They're very committed athletes. But also I want to say that not because they won, the rest did not do their best. They did their best. They qualified to the Olympic Games. They worked so hard, but you cannot win everything. And we hope for more in Paris.
24 Paris.
Yeah, we hope. Because I'm elected as executive board member of the World Taekwondo, automatically I'm also sitting on the Egyptian board. We didn't have a chance to talk about this yet because everything is new. December 11th is the board elections, and I believe after the elections are over, the whole team will sit down and start to plan for Paris.